Hey y'all, let me hit you with this. Is Jerry Jones playing it safe, or is he flat out stuck in the past? The Dallas Cowboys are sitting on a gold mine of talent, yet somehow, it feels like they're spinning their wheels, trapped in a cycle of near misses and what-ifs. We've seen flashes of brilliance, but they've never quite been able to break through when it matters most. With McCarthy's playoff struggles and whispers of Mike Tomlin potentially taking over, it feels like this franchise is stuck in neutral, unable to take that next big step toward greatness. The Cowboys have so much potential, but it's been squandered year after year, and at this point, fans are growing impatient. Fans deserve more than another year of excuses, heartbreak, and disappointment, don't you think? This team is capable of so much more, but it requires a bold move, a big decision that reflects the championship pedigree the Cowboys used to stand for. Here's the real question. Are we going to keep riding this roller coaster, hoping that maybe next season will be the one where everything clicks? Or is it time for Dallas to make a bold, Texas-sized move, make some hard decisions and rewrite history? This team's future hangs in the balance, and it's time to make that shift. We've been stuck in a loop for far too long, and it's time to look beyond the status quo. It's time for Dallas to make a move that defines the next era of this proud franchise. Hey folks, let's pull up a chair and have a little chat about something mighty important for us Cowboys fans. Mike McCarthy's future. Now, whether you're kicking back with brisket on the smoker, tailgating at the game, or hollering at the TV every Sunday, I reckon y'all have plenty to say about this. McCarthy's tenure has been a topic of constant debate among fans. Some see promise, while others think it's time to part ways and find someone new. So grab your Dr. Pepper or crack open a cold one because we're fixing to dive in deep on McCarthy's crossroads in Dallas. Let's not beat around the bush. There's still no word on whether Jerry Jones is sticking with McCarthy or sending him packing. Jerry's got his poker face on, but Cowboys Nation can read the room. The deadline's Tuesday, and if McCarthy's still twisting in the wind by then, he's free to wander. And don't y'all think for a second that other teams won't be looking at him. Rumor mills are already churning, and teams like the Chicago Bears are sniffing around, eager as a dog after a steak bone. The thing is, McCarthy's regular season hasn't been too shabby. The team has shown flashes of greatness at times, and McCarthy has been at the helm during some impressive victories. But when it comes to the playoffs, it's been more heartbreak than highlights. From missed opportunities to lackluster performances, the Cowboys have underperformed when it matters most, and it's left fans with an empty feeling at the end of every season. So, do we stick with McCarthy, hoping that next year's the charm, or should Jerry Jones saddle up and find a fresh face to steer this ship? That's the kind of decision that can make or break a season, and a team. The Cowboys need a coach who can bring out the best in this talented roster, and it's clear that something has to change. Now here's the kicker, y'all. This ain't just about wins and losses. This is about building a legacy, creating something that lasts. Dallas fans, don't settle for good enough. We're chasing rings, history, and pride. We want a team that stands for something more than just making the playoffs every year. McCarthy's tenure has had its moments of brilliance, and there's no denying the talent he's coached. But what's been missing is that edge, that fire to take us all the way to the top. Could he tweak the playbook, tighten up the defense, and rally the locker room? Or maybe what we need is a fresh perspective, someone who knows how to harness the raw talent we've got on this roster and put it all together for a championship run? We're talking about a franchise with legendary names like Staubach, Smith, Aikman, and Irvin. This isn't just a job. It's a calling, a responsibility to the fans, to the city of Dallas, and to the entire state of Texas. And the next move, whether it's sticking with McCarthy or not, has to reflect that same sense of urgency and greatness. We need someone who can lead us to the promised land. So here's the question for y'all. If you were Jerry Jones, would you roll the dice on McCarthy one more time? Or would you be searching for a coach who can lead us straight to the promised land? This is a high-stakes decision, and it could shape the direction of the franchise for years to come. The wrong choice could cost the Cowboys another season of missed opportunities, while the right choice could finally be the spark they need to get back on top of the NFL. Jerry Jones has made bold moves in the past, and now is the time to do it again. Word's been spreading about a wild idea from Jimmy Johnson that's got folks talking. A coach swap between the Cowboys and the Steelers. That's right, Mike McCarthy heads to Pittsburgh, and Mike Tomlin takes the helm in Dallas. Now, Tomlin's no small fry. He's been running the Steelers since 2007, leading them to a Super Bowl victory along the way. But let's not sugarcoat it. He hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. Does that sound familiar? The similarities between McCarthy's struggles and Tomlin's recent playoff shortcomings are hard to ignore. Tomlin's sitting pretty with a contract through 2027, pulling in $15 million a year. That's a fat stack, even for Jerry Jones' deep pockets. But here's the million-dollar question. Is Tomlin's leadership the spark the Cowboys need to light up the NFL? Or are we just trading one set of frustrations for another? This is a gamble with the Cowboys' entire legacy on the line. If Jones pulls the trigger on this move, it could either ignite the Cowboys' future or send them down the same path of mediocrity. Let's break it down Cowboy style. Both McCarthy and Tomlin have Super Bowl wins under their belts, but their journeys to those championships were different. McCarthy is the guy who gets the job done, kind of like that trusty ranch hand who keeps everything running smooth but isn't exactly going to win you a rodeo. He's been able to take teams deep in the regular season, but the playoffs have been a different story. Tomlin, though, brings consistency. The Steelers rarely tank under his watch, and they're almost always in the hunt. But steady ain't always enough for a championship. Since 2009, the Steelers have been more about getting into the playoffs than actually winning them. Their playoff performances have often left fans disappointed, just like the Cowboys. So, what's it going to be? Stick with McCarthy, who's like a reliable old pickup truck, or roll the dice on Tomlin and see if his leadership blends with the Cowboys' swagger and pride. It's a high-stakes decision, and Jerry Jones is the one holding the cards. It's not just about finding a coach who can win regular season games. It's about finding someone who can bring that championship mentality back to Dallas. The Cowboys are more than just a football team. They're a symbol of Texas pride. From the star on their helmets to the energy they bring to AT&T Stadium, the Cowboys represent something bigger than the game itself. Fans don't settle for mediocrity. They want championships, glory, and that good old Texas grit. Tomlin could bring fresh eyes and new fire, but he's got to overcome years of playoff struggles. On the flip side, McCarthy's got the experience to guide a team. But does he have the it factor to bring home the Lombardi Trophy? All right, folks, let's not sugarcoat it. The Dallas Cowboys, bless their hearts, seem like they're stuck in a rut when it comes to making decisions. Jerry Jones and his front office have a knack for dragging their boots, and this McCarthy situation is a prime example. While teams like the Patriots are already locking in their plans for next season, the Cowboys are still sitting around scratching their heads, wondering what to do next. This kind of hesitation isn't just annoying. It's downright baffling for fans and players alike. It sends a message no one wants to hear. Maybe, just maybe, the Cowboys don't have their act together. That ain't the Dallas way, y'all. This team is supposed to be about bold moves, championship dreams, and not getting lost in endless indecision. Jerry needs to step up, grab the reins, and show some grit. If he doesn't, the Cowboys risk losing their edge and watching their hard-earned momentum fizzle out. Here's the deal. With players like Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb on the roster, the Cowboys are sitting on pure gold. But talent ain't enough without leadership. Leadership is what turns a group of talented individuals into a championship-caliber team. So, who's the right person to take this team to the promised land? All right, y'all, let's talk straight. Cowboys fans ain't just any fans, we're family. And like any good Texan family, we've stuck together through thick and thin. But how much longer can we keep riding this roller coaster of hope and despair? One thing's for sure, Dallas deserves better. We're talking about a franchise with a legacy as big as Texas, yet here we are, still waiting for them to show us what they're made of. It's time for the Cowboys to quit messing around and start delivering. That means getting the right folks in the right spots, coaches, players, even front office decision makers. No more half-baked excuses or promises that don't go anywhere. The Cowboys have always stood for pride, grit, and a whole lot of swagger. It's high time they started living up to that reputation instead of just talking about it. Now here's the deal, folks. Jerry Jones has a big OL decision to make. Should we stick with McCarthy? Or would someone like Mike Tomlin be a better fit for our Cowboys? Are these front office moves taking us closer to a Super Bowl, or are they just spinning their wheels? We've seen too many years of potential wasted on bad calls and missed opportunities. What's your take? Drop a comment below, share your 2 cents, and don't hold back. Also, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Y'all don't want to miss the next twist in this saga. Trust me, this ain't just a team, it's a lifestyle, and we're in this together. Let's be real here. This week's decisions could either make or break our Cowboys. We're talking about more than just another coach or player. We're talking about the future of America's team, a team that's supposed to represent grit, determination, and a never-back-down attitude. Right now, the Cowboys are at a crossroads. Stick with what ain't working, or take a bold leap into something new. But here's the kicker. Every fan knows this ain't just about talent on the field. It's about leadership, strategy, and a vision that stretches beyond this season. Does Jerry Jones have the guts to shake things up? Does McCarthy have what it takes to rally this team to greatness? Or is it time for a fresh face to step up and carry the weight of this legacy? Cowboys Nation, this is your call to arms. Are y'all ready to ride with whoever comes next? Or are we just settling for the same old song and dance? Let us know where you stand. And don't forget to keep it as fiery as your Texas pride. This is our time to decide the future. The ball's in your court.